Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time. Today I'm presenting from my apartment in Brisbane, Australia. My presentation today will focus on soft systems analysis and intervention approach based on social constructivism. It offers a better way to understand thresholds in order to build system and community resilience. The first part is state of issue. The first issue is how to identify thresholds of social ecological system, especially to identify the thresholds of social systems. The second issue is how to intervention in such systems. My answer is the links between two issues lies in the identification thresholds based on soft systems intervention. The soft system intervention can to identify thresholds. Because many of the main concepts in social ecological systems, such as thresholds and tipping points, come from ecological understanding and do not appear to apply so clearly in the social parts of systems. Thus, it is difficult to assess vulnerabilities and resilience and to promote interventions to avert reaching critical thresholds. The traditional approach of threshold identification, such as threshold or tipping point method and resilience surrogate method and state space method, focus on transplanting the measurement method of ecosystem resilience of social ecological system. This results in a fundamental dilemma in ability to cope with challenges of human action. The unique feature of human activity systems lies in individual type feedback loop. That means the transformation from independent observer to participate intervener. My point is using soft systems intervention to identify thresholds of social systems. In other words, using SSI to construct thresholds. In one word, intervention create identification. The second part is my analysis for need for transformation from soft systems methodology from Peter Checkland to our soft systems interventions. Soft systems interventions focus on the uncertainty and social world interaction and behaviors have meaning for social agents. And we can also use some approach based on logical linked human activity systems and operational cause-effect relationships. It includes 5 stems. We can to understand 5 stems in the examples in details. The next third part for my presentation is examples of social ecological system, and the application of soft systems intervention to identify thresholds and to push and social and environmental change on Cat Bar Island, Vietnam. The university research team conducted a participatory project with all the stakeholders, government and non-government, concerned with declaration of the World Heritage Area. They began by examining the way the system worked. By examining the way the system worked, by combining all participants' mental models of the system. In workshops, then they went on examining the parts of that system that offered best prospects for interventions. For example, tourism, local people's livelihoods after hunting in the forests was prevented. This took capacity building approach in which Vietnamese people conducted the studies. As students enrolled at University of Queensland with guidance from university staff, we find the STEM used the soft systems interventions in Cat Bar Island to intervention on practical situation, especially on initial question to define the focal system. This STEM is a resilient assessment to define the social ecological boundaries of the system. And these boundaries, both spatial and temporal, comprise what is referred to as focal system. The second step is adaptive collaboration learning on soft boundaries. After learning across boundaries and boundary critique and constructive critique on the impact on uncertainties, we can make the collective action happen, and we can also make the cooperation and network structure emerge. This kind of network structure includes a size, density, degree, bounding distance, something like that, emerge. Then we can also cultivate the capacity for group learning, such as knowledge from sharing and monitoring for key slow variables to growing. That's adaptive collaboration learning. The third step, we find the construct role alternatives in multiple states, can identify threshold points and conduct soft system interventions. In Canberra Island, this example, we find the leverage areas and threshold points require systems, especially soft systems interventions that are deemed critical for long-term sustainability. Those identified include cross-sectoral collaboration, development and implementation of government plans, capacity building for decision makers, managers, and local people, waste management and treatment, people's awareness, conservation of endangered species, investment for agriculture, improving the livelihood of commoners, and tourism development. And these leverage areas forms the basis for, and the threshold points form the basis for integrated projects and policies covering multiple aspects of sustainability, including social, economic, and cultural and environmental well-being. Then that's the fourth step, inducing the self-organization designed to create change. That's the most important step. It refers to the long-term empowering based on the individual cognitive plasticity. Then we also use the long-term educative empowering on identify critical and slowing change variables that can either trigger abrupt change or interact with other system variables, causing other thresholds to be crossed. Then one of the most important intervention is the indirect intervention, not a direct intervention. From nudge to boost. The nudge focuses on the indirect intervention on human action, but boost focuses on the indirect intervention on the individual ability. It is to cultivate individual ability to create mental models. The mental models, the most important. That's use the boost to do the indirect intervention to do the mental models. That's an outcome. And that's the fourth step that we have found. There are only a few of the examples of different mental models that contributed to the development of the system model and on which ongoing success of CADBAR project will be dependent. A study in central Vietnam shows the local people have little knowledge about sustainability. Most of them do not understand sustainable development in general, and they do not want to participate sustainable development programs. It is therefore not surprising that the attitude of local people in CADBAR is no different. That's a fourth step. The final step is construct possible ideal type to identify the thresholds. We can build in the possible ideal type and then testing possible ideal type and create the action plan on feedbacks. In Cat-Bar Island, there are 4 systems possible ideal types from systems dynamic type and archetypes. Have these 4 system types includes the systems model of the limits to growth, fixed field, tragedy of common, and shifting the burden. For the soft system interventions is to construct the possible ideal type, especially to the thresholds type to identify the threshold type. But after the framework of the systems interventions and to create and identify thresholds. That's the final conclusion. The soft systems intervention can include intervention on specific conditions and adaptive collaboration learning and inducing self-organization, and can be used to identify thresholds as well as guiding intervention while involving the actors responsible for the many parts of the system. In one word, the soft systems interventions can create an identification for thresholds of the social systems in social ecological systems. That's all. Thank you. That's my, thank you so much.